Jai faith that bears the certain confidence that God's will is being done in all circumstances. When we read of the compassionate enlightenment of, say, the master of yogis of the Himalayas or the Buddhas inhabiting transcendental realms, it is one thing. But when we have the opportunity to imbibe Ramdas's day-to-day perspective on life at length, as he journeys on the dusty roads of India, it is another. I find a remarkable quality of these stories is that I read them, then somehow carry something of Ramdas's attitude towards people and events into my own life. This indeed is a special grace. Its effect is particularly noticeable when I return to these pages after having neglected them for some time. The spiritual tone of my life takes a remarkable turn for the better. And I don't refer here to the specifically spiritual aspects of my life, meditation, worship, and so on. Rather, it is the everyday interaction with persons and circumstances that is marvelously influenced. Consider one of the stories in the pages that follow. On the road to Kashmir, Ramdas had sought solitude for the night in a small stone-walled basement room of a temple in Pathankot. Late in the evening, he was brought out of meditation by the temple priest, who had come with a few friends from the town. They brought a light and musical instruments, eagerly desiring to spend some happy hours in devotional singing in the blessed company of a visiting saint. Rams will be done. Ramdas welcomed them, seeing them as embodiments of his own beloved Ram. The music got underway, but suddenly stopped. A virulently poisonous snake had entered the room. The visitors were horrified, fearing for their lives, seeing death itself approaching across the floor. Ramdas was unperturbed. In fact, he remained in semi-ecstasy. It was Ram's will that the snake had come. Indeed, the venomous visitor was none other than Ram himself, to be welcomed royally with offerings of sugar candy. When our solitude is impinged upon, are we able to see the divine hand at work? When confronted with threatening obstacles in our path, do we sense the visitation of God? Mostly I forget. But I know of a few more helpful antidotes to my forgetfulness than the words and examples of Papa Ramdas. As a child of God, Ramdas said of himself, he is freely moving about under his guidance and protection. He meets his beloved everywhere. You are all forms of his beloved. Why should he then feel himself a stranger anywhere? He is one with you. He is your eternal companion in the spirit. Papa Ramdas is also, I would add, a most precious friend. Because of his abundant love and concern for us, he made us to, the book In Quest of God was instrumental in taking up the thread from him. He wanted all of us to have an in-depth study, arrive at our own conclusions based upon our own experiences. That is what we have been watching ourselves for the past 5-6 months. Whenever we go back to the same chapter or the narrations, we find a different meaning, a different approach, a different perspective, a different attitude. And as the Lance C. Nelson of University of San Diego mentions, it has its own impact. Probably not in the way in which we all expect, but it has its own impact. So when we start hearing that you start a dialogue, you start a dialogue, you start a dialogue, or when he says, he doesn't say you start a dialogue, he starts the dialogue. A tendency slowly wells up in our mind. I should also develop, While narrating the qualification of a dearest devotee in chapter number 12, Swami Ranganathanji Maharaj said, when we read this, I also want to become a devotee, I also want to become the dearest devotee of God. What should I do now? When we read once, twice, thrice, 4 times, when we hear the same thing, slowly, I also want to become the dearest devotee of God. That means he is causing the awakening in us. In order to keep up the tempo, keep it alive, what has been touched and kindled, we have to do something. So when he keeps on hammering from chapter number 1 to chapter number 37 in Quest of God, that a regular dialogue with him is the one assuring point, assuring factor of slowly accepting his presence. So when we keep on reading it, don't you think we also get this, I must have a dialogue with him. So far the problem was, to have a dialogue I should have another person. Whether he is in front of me or probably through a phone, somewhere or at a distance somebody is calling me and I am back. So we have been thinking that to have a dialogue I must have another person. Papa answers here, there is an impersonal person who has been with you, who is with you. So today he is drawing our attention to this salient aspect. We may do so many spiritual disciplines, but ultimately it should zero to feeling his presence, a glimpse of his presence first. And then later slowly, moving nearer to it. So Ramnam, while introducing Ramnam, he used to say that name is the link between us and God. So along with chanting Ramnam, we also try to develop this dialogue. So that slowly the chanting will become more and more effective, more and more attentive, more and more focused, more and more concentrated. Previously, when the mind chants, there was a tendency for the mind to go out after some time of chanting. So we get punctured. With all this again I chant, the mind still goes out. So here is another one, Dialogue. So Nama chanting with dialogue, See, because we are not in a position to chant like him for 22 hours. We are not like him to free ourselves from the comfort zones. Everything starts only after ensuring our comfort zones. So in his case, he was able to deny or get himself freed from all comfort zones. So that is why he was able to chant 22 hours out of 24 hours with the right attitude. So in our case, these are all the hurdles. We are unable to free ourselves from the comfort zones.
Swami, one doubt, Swami. Papa having realized that talking to Ram is okay, but without knowing who Ram is, can we talk to him directly like that? Will we hear it? Simply knowing who he is, just we can have a dialogue. Will it be fitting? I don't know, Swami. We are doing it, but no result so far. Every morning when Papa, you pray that, but so far not getting be honestly praying, it will be alright.
Only when we try and then when we fail, we try to improve, Throughout our life, we have not mastered straight away. We have failed many a times. We did not lose heart. When we first tried to learn the alphabets, did it come to us straight away? So here we have to believe the words of the master. And you are right, we don't know with whom we have to watch. But we will assume, Just like we assume so many things and do that. We try to meet a person thinking that we will be able to meet him, but he may not be there. He may be there. So many things. Let us try to look at our own life. Only in this matter we find, some we cannot do it, we cannot do it. In rest of the things we are but persevering effort. When we have taken upon something, we don't lose heart. We learnt everything only by patience, perseverance. We all know that Papa had intensely done for 2 years. Then only he was able to get a grip. Just now we read that Dada was Vaswaniji's. So unless and until we make a move, we think we are making a move. No, we are not really making a move. That is why today he brought the word impersonal person. He is not palpable, he is not tangible. At the same time, we know that there is a mysterious power that is enabling me to exist. So I name him as a impersonal person. Or if my mind refuses, I can bring any Ishtadevata or Mahatma in its place and have a dialogue. Whatever way. We read the stories of many Bhaktotamas where they easily converse with the Ishtadevata. 2 days back we read a great devotee of, I don't know whether we read it out yet. The boy, you remember, one lady devotee was intensely praying that I must have the vision of Bhagavan, Lord Krishna. After some time, a boy came and was closely moving with, and she was quite happy about it. One day, for some reason, when he was tied down, and in another place, Naividyam was offered. There the Bhakta also gets an experience that the Naividyam is accepted by the Lord. But on this particular day, he did not feel that the Naividyam has been accepted. So he started wondering why. When the moment the lady devotee released him from the bondage, suddenly, the other devotee felt that the Naividyam has been accepted by the Lord. When we read all these things, it may be an assumption in the early stage. Initially, it may be an assumption. But that assumption slowly results in realizing the reality, Yes. It is not a cock and bull story. So every now and then, because we are not full-timers, all these inputs are to be gone through again and again and again and again. So impersonal person, if we are unable to concentrate on that impersonal person, a nameless, formless, birthless, deathless power, a subtle and mysterious power, we have been given the freedom to bring him through any form and converse with him. Actually, don't you think that when you do puja, is it not a conversation? In your photo, you are superimposing the deity and you do puja, telling that you are this, you are that, you are this, you are that. We are all happy, after doing that puja.
Yes, yes.
Is it not a dialogue? When we say dialogue, have we separated it from our use? We have done it, we are enjoying it. The only thing is not sustaining, that's all. So here, we are not daydreaming. We are trying to, we know that he is there, but for some reasons I am unable to concentrate on his nameless, formless aspect. So I am giving a name and form to him, and then I am conversing with him, and later on a stage comes when I pray to him to make me to transcend. While retaining my reverence to that form, I should also be able to transcend that plane. These are all some of the ways Papa has given to us.
Swamiji, there is no doubt, Swamiji, that when dialogue is being described for our spiritual journey, natural dialogue, it gives very good encouragement for our spiritual journey. There is no doubt. There is no doubt at all. That gives us lift only. Our mind is actually lifted. Because we hope, we are getting hope that we can have a communion with our dialogue. There is no doubt at all. It's a very good thing, Swamiji. My opinion.
We must, correct. We must try. Never we get demotivated, no? Though the sense of incompleteness is the fuel for us, incentive for us, but we should not get, it should not puncture our efficiency or enthusiasm. You remember, Papa's that 3 words: fixed resolve, optimistic outlook, sustaining faith. Because we are his children, he will never leave us. We have to keep on bringing this in our sattvic moments, There the receptivity will be there. Ordinary moments probably we may not be able to retain that. In our sattvic moments, when God blesses with the sattvic moments, he does give us every day, probably for a short time. We become aware of the sattvic moments he gifts us every day. Probably 99% may be sattvic and rajasic and tamasic, but still 1% he gives to us. There will be some moments in a day when we feel an inexplicable, pleasant feeling in our heart.
That is when we attend Satsang, Swami.
That is when we attend Satsang. When we attend Satsang.
Anything, whether you remember about the Satsang then? When we remember about Uddhava, Lord's advice to Uddhava, we are not reading now. But finally, when the tears came from Lord's eyes, it touched our heart, didn't it?
Yes.
It keeps touching. So the other day we were reading Sudama Charitra, no? So not necessarily at that time. The impact will be there when we attentively hear, do some manana. As somebody said in some article, they don't remember exactly the soul who writes about this. Only 25% benefit comes from hearing. 70% comes from manana. 5% comes from nididhyasana. So if we are just satisfied with the 25% of our hearing, naturally 75% is varies, 75% varies, 25%. So this manana is definitely needed. That is why he said meditative chanting, And whenever there is a pause moment in our daily life, be the period ever so small, borrowing Papa's own words, no? Be the period ever so small, we will try to encash this rarest opportunity of having a dialogue with him, a prayer. And pray to him, enable me to keep up this by chanting your name. Now what happens is, you have also given so many individual problems to me. That individual problems overweigh when I do the chanting. I find it difficult to chant in the way in which it is to be chanted. Not that I don't want. I want that to be chanted. Like that, we place ourselves completely before him, frankly. And Papa teaches from his own experience that such things do pay rich dividends. Because we should know Papa's approach is Jnanottara Bhakti. Jnana is there, path of knowledge is there, and path of devotion is also there. There is a harmonious blend of both Jnana and Bhakti. First he takes us through Jnana. Puja Mataji the other day gave us another clarity. Why am I asking you to read 11 times? Then only you will have the Nirguna Brahman. Some idea about Nirguna Brahman. Because throughout there is he converts with that impersonal person. But at the same time, it is not a dry philosophy which doesn't stay with us because he has given this paste of bhakti. So the dialogue is the one which gives us the feeling of that impersonal person. Otherwise it will become dry. We will not reach anywhere. We may intellectually understand, but later on when we are one with our common run of life, when we have to face challenges, we find, there is a lot of gap between what we have read and what we see outside. But when we have this relationship with the impersonal person, then and there we can place the matter before him, So today probably Papa wants all of us to concentrate upon this salient aspect of intensifying our contact with him through chanting by having regular dialogues throughout the day. Actually in ashram, Mataji must have planned, though probably she would not have said in so many words, or we don't know whether she has also said like that. When we attend the Ramnam program, followed by what? You just imagine chronologically. 11:30 to 12:15 we have Ramnam. Trying to control the mind and getting fixed on Ramnam. Then comes Prabhu Vishwanatha, the universal prayer. Where though we have not attained, we still keep on asserting that make me thine and thine only forever and ever. And with that we light the arati. The light, symbolically the light that illumines, And then afterwards the pradakshina. And in the pradakshina also we try to bring everything. Finally the surrender is also there, kayena vaja. And finally we say, we are telling, though we have not gone anywhere near to it, that wherever I look, I see. Wherever the mind goes, wherever the mind goes, I see you only. Wherever my head touches, it is only feet, your holy feet. That is how we say Asatoma, then we say Anandaganda, Sachidananda, Purna Brahma, Purushottama. So all saints are also brought there and we say Namaskar, and then we go and for all the we offer our gratitude in the way of bowing down at the holy feet of our masters for having facilitated all these every day. So when we go to the shrine inside, with all this background, initially we may not know. It was in Marathi, a little bit of, curiosity will make us to know all these things. And luckily, Papa has made it easy for us to have this Arati translated in different languages. In English, it is definitely there. And so when we try to go along with it, the whole session, just imagine now, bhajan, followed by Ramnam, then universal prayer, then Arati, then assertion of his supremacy, and then surrender aspect, and then finally we say what will be the result when I surrender, seeing him everywhere. This is how she has set everything day. So is this not a dialogue? We are very much with him. Please think over it. Whether we physically attend the session or not, when we are telling now, the whole thing goes before our eyes, mental vision. There is a beautiful chronological order. Right from 10:30 to 11:30, bhajan. We forgot to make a mention about bhajan. Bhajan makes a proper ambience, mental ambience, to get a glimpse of the sattvic moments in us, to touch and kindle the sattvic tendency in us, and then to sustain it Ramnam in a melodious voice with no disturbance, sitting before the image of our Guru, and then one by one, the universal prayer, which is a class by itself. So all these things, when viewed from this, when we talk about the impersonal person, all these things will give us more and more clarity. So let us all pray to him. You have given us so many clues. Enable us to take the best advantage of all these things. Whether we are in the ashram or elsewhere, we will try to go through it. Somebody used to tell us every day on important days, from Madras, she used to tell, I am every day coming to you to take flowers from you. I am every day going inside to place it at the holy feet of our master. And I take every day his Pada Tirtha. She is sitting, in Madras. But every time religiously she mentions this. I attend the program there. I attend the Arati there. That's a great thing. So the impact will be there. And you see, all these things are inputs for raising up our sattvic level. Let us try. There are so many ways. If one way is not suitable for us, another way will be open for us. So let us concentrate and at the same time pray to him for facilitating all these things to us. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Ram, Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai 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 Ram, Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, 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 Sri Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai 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 Ram Sri Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Ram, Jai Ram.